When I'm talking to my students about communicating with people with disabilities, that you say you're not disabled, and that's fine, but I would like to talk to you a little bit about, like I explained before we began taping, I have a friend who said that she doesn't like anybody to lean on her chair. It really bothers her. It's her space, and she really gets bothered by that. I'd like for you to talk to me and educate me and the listeners a little bit about the overall aspects of disability, especially in terms of communication, what you like to see happen, what you don't like to see happen, what you don't like for people to say. I know already that you don't want anybody to treat you with kid gloves because you said, hey, get these prosthetics off of here. I don't want them, and I'm going to wrestle. I'm going to jump 3 stories down, and I don't care if I hit too hard or whatever. So, talk to me about that.
Well, in my opinion, I think when you greet someone that you find may or have a disability or have disabilities, or just somebody that's different, my opinion, I think, is if you are the type of person that always shakes everybody's hand, then you should offer your hand as a handshake or as a gesture. And that person, if they cannot shake your hand, they'll walk you through the rest of that process.
What will they do? Because that was one of the things I thought of today when I approached you. I thought, gee, I don't know if I should offer my hand to shake his hand or not. I always do everybody else.
Well, we'll do it as an example. Go ahead and shake.
Yeah.
Now, see, that for you, that was a good firm handshake.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll get people that'll just give me what they call dap, where you just knuckles. And that I don't mind at all.
That's what Barack would do.
Yeah, I don't mind doing it. Well, especially with the flu going around, that's fine with me. Yeah. What I don't like, what actually is an irritant to me, is where they'll shake my arm like it's a tissue.
Real
dainty. Just real dainty. Or I'll put my arm out there.
Fish,
yeah.
Cold fish handshake.
I got a lot of that. I just think you should offer your hand, especially if you're one to shake hands, and they'll walk you through that. And from that point, just say, if there's anything that you need, just let me know. I'll be glad to work with you. Don't use key words like, if you need any help, I'll help you, or assist, because then you're actually telling that person that you believe at some point that they need help.
I see.
And it's just a key trigger word. It's like, did I say that I need help?
It's almost like talking down to them. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So don't use key words like that.
It's very condescending.
Yeah, but go ahead and offer your services. Is like, if you want anything, I'll be there. But don't use the key words, help or assist or.
Yeah, in other words, I know you're in a chair, so I know you're going to have my help. So just
yeah.
let me know. Ring the bell.
Yeah, that I have to have somebody open the door
exactly.
for me.
Right.
Exactly.
That's amazing. I noticed that when they brought you your water, well, you just really, you just took charge of that, and I assumed, well, I mean, he's had that done before, so he can manage.
I have drank water before.
Yeah,
yes.
He's had the water, so he's done it before.
Right on.
What else do you know? Like when you're talking with people, what are some of the other things that you would suggest to a student? Say, look, here's some things to think about.
Some things to think about
as far as communication, does it bother you? You said earlier something that bothered you about the chair. I'd like for you to talk a little bit about that. It doesn't bother you when somebody leans on it, right?
Most time when they lean on it, I don't mind. When they use my chair as a coat rack.
Coat rack, that's what you said.
That's irritating.
People actually came by and put.
Well, it's usually people that know me.
Oh, I see.
But once my wife puts her coat on my chair, then I turn on, there's like 10 coats on my chair. The other irritating part is where if my wheelchair is parked next to somebody, they'll put their foot on it, and then they'll shake their foot.
Start tapping it?
Well, you know how you tap your foot? I'm tapping my foot, by the way. I don't know if you got that. And they'll just put their foot on there and then go like that, and then my chair's going. So that's kind of irritating. Other than that, people will try to drive it.
Try to push you somewhere?
Yeah. If they try to drive it, and people have no idea how fast and strong, because I've got everything turned up on it. It's
souped up.
Yeah, it's souped up. So I've had people and think it's cute to hit the joystick, and then what will happen is they'll hit it, it'll take off, run somebody else over, and then everybody's looking at me like I'm the jerk that just ran over the guy in front of me, and it wasn't me. It wasn't
taking
me.
the liberty to do that's incredible.
Well, it's usually somebody that knows me even a little bit.
Oh, I see.
I'm not saying a stranger run. Toddlers will run up and grab the chair.
I was thinking probably that may be a problem.
That I have to turn it off really fast because that makes me nervous, because they actually usually pull it towards them and run themselves over.
Yeah.
And then I really look bad for running over a toddler.
Bad public relations.
It's a bad PR move.
Bad PR move on your part. What about going through airports and things like that? Do you have any struggles as you go through airports, or are people pretty sensitive and pretty capable in communication with you?
I think the airports are handling it fairly well. I always get patted down.
Really?
Every time. Every time. And actually, I think that's a good thing. Because if I was the bad guy, if I was a very intelligent bad guy, I would use a wheelchair to smuggle stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that can slip through the system fairly easy.
Yeah.
And they got these little circle pieces of cloth that they wipe the chair down and they put it in a tester to see if I got any chemicals.
Bomb remnants or whatever.
Yeah. So I always have them take that piece of cloth and I have them clean the dirty areas on my
Go ahead and wipe it down while you're at it.
on my chair. I'm like, while you're at it, just clean that spot right there.
You said the other day that you had somebody clean your chair. Talk to me about that.
Oh, I go through airports a lot, being a speaker and a comedian, and do a lot of flying. And before I was going to go to this keynote speech, I noticed my chair was dirty, and we went by the shoe shine.
Hey, can you give me a chair shine, buddy?
So I asked them, and they're like, well, yeah, I don't see why we can't do that. So I paid for a shoe shine and got a wheelchair cleaned.
Oh, my gosh, that's incredible. Did people stop and wonder what was going on, or did they just kind of pass by?
No, I didn't notice anybody stopping or noticing that.
Now, you're the kind of guy that likes to have a nice laugh, so talk to me about some of the subtle, practical jokes you pulled on people. I can just imagine you stopping and falling out of your chair in the middle of an airport. Or
No.
I can imagine you doing something like that.
Laying on the floor.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
No, that would be mean to people if I did that.
Yeah, sure.
Well, one thing with the speeches, I've just noticed that I believe humor has a lot of power.
Yeah.
And it's okay to poke fun at your situation. I also point out in the speeches that you don't want to use negative behavior to draw attention to yourself.
I see.
And so it's okay to make fun of your situation, but there is a fine line between making fun of yourself just to get people to pay attention to you or just having humor. And I think humor can get you through all kinds of situations, whether you're stuck or depressed or even a death in the family. At some point, I think humor can be, at the right time, can be a good thing.
Sure.
Funny story that I can think of, there was a kid that, that age where mom has to hold him by the hand the whole time?
Right.
Or if she lets go, that kid's gone?
Right.
It's that age. I don't know what about that age, but that kid has radar and can spot a person with a disability, or especially a guy with arms and legs, from clear on the other side of the building. And I was at a mall one time driving my chair around, and this kid's like, Mom, look, that guy over there doesn't have any arms, no elbows, look, no legs either. Mom, look.
Oh,
well, Mom's all embarrassed.
Sure.
She's got that kid by the hand. She's like, shut up, kid. Jerks his arm right out of the socket. I look up, his little feet are dangling in the wind behind her. So you know me, I got to say something. So I go flying up there, and I get to thinking on the way there, you know what, I'm not going to say anything to Mom. So I pull all the way up there, and I leaned over, and I looked that kid right square in the eye. And I said, my mom used to pull my arms like that, too. I guarantee Mom won't handle that situation the same again.
Oh, my gosh. You're so bad.
I can't help it.
That was good. Good teaching moment.
But I think avoiding the situation doesn't help.
Yeah.
It's avoiding the elephant in the room. I don't have arms and legs, so let's talk about it for a second and move on.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't have a problem with that.
People must be timid, however, thinking about how to ask you about that. I mean, they must express some timidity, surely.
There's a lot of people that are, and I'm the unknown. Some people are actually afraid to approach me.
To bring it up.
And that's just part of my job, is getting people over that little. It's just a little hurdle too. I think once you're over that, I'm just Brett.
And it's very refreshing, Brett, to talk to you, and I really appreciate you being on the show today. Time's gone so fast, and I wish we had another hour and a half to talk to you and probe all these ideas. But thank you so much for being here today, and thanks for being a part of our program.